Hello again, welcome back everyone. Liquorhound here with you. Thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. And today we're going to be taking a look at Ardbeg Drum. Now the Ardbeg Drum is coming to us in honor of Ardbeg Day. It is their limited release they do once a year. Previous releases were going to be like Grooves, Kelpie, Dark Cove, even Perpetuum, stuff like that, Galileo, all those are supernovas or special Ardbeg Day releases. And the majority of them only get done once and that's it. The only exception to that would be Supernova. You know, they've done that 09, 2010, took a break, 2014, 2015. So hopefully that'll eventually come back again. But what do we know about Ardbeg Drum? Ardbeg Drum bottled at 52% for the committee release. Again, committee release always comes in a tan label. It'll be followed by the standard release drum, which will be in a black label, bottled at only 46%. Retail pricing on drum is going to be $150, and that doesn't matter if you get the committee release or the black label standard lower ABV release. It's still going to be probably $150. Matter of fact, I've got a Grooves right here in the standard release label. Again, black label, 46% ABV. This costs the same price as the committee Grooves. Okay, all right. But okay, drum finished in rum casks. Very intriguing when I first heard about that. I remember hearing it was going to have a lot of tropical notes. That sounded fantastic. When the bottle comes out, I see it on the label. It says banana notes, pineapple notes, briny notes. Okay. The banana note thing, that doesn't do much for me because that's just a young whiskey characteristic. You can pretty much take any Scotch whiskey, and if you taste it at a young enough age, probably about, I'd say 8, 7 years, and a little bit younger than that, maybe down to 6, 5, so on, you're definitely going to pick up the banana tone, all right? So the banana note tells me it's probably a younger Ardbeg, but hopefully, you know, the rum influence helps it. All right, now the one thing I will note is that when I first opened this bottle, it was very young tasting Ardbeg. A lot of banana, a lot of underripe pineapple, not very much rum influence. But I spoke with a buddy of mine and he said that his bottle had been open for a month and a half or so, and that the banana dissipated, the rum increased. So I'm hoping this one got to that point by now. We're going to see it. This one's been open maybe about, I'd say 2, almost 3 weeks now. So we'll see. As for the color, pale straw, looks like standard Ardbeg 10 color. On the nose, yeah, you definitely nose it as Ardbeg right away. It's got a little peat. It's got what I've always described Ardbeg in my mind as being as a slightly roasted, toasted corn note, almost like in my heritage, when they make tamales, they'll have the masa, which is the cornmeal. And the cornmeal, the combination of the masa and maybe the corn husks that they wrap the tamale in, known as hojas. And both those things combined, to me, have a little bit of an Ardbeg note to it. Or maybe I should say Ardbeg has a little bit of their note to it. But yeah, you always can pick it out like that. So this has definitely Ardbeg-based characteristic. Sweet, very sweet. It's almost got a lemon frosting note going on because there's so much sweetness going. And the lemon oils is definitely in here, and it reminds me of Perpetuum, if you remember that release from years back. Pineapple is in there. Doesn't feel super sweet still. It's still kind of underripe pineapple. Banana is dissipating. That's a good thing, actually. But it's still in here, so you can still pick up banana even about 2.5 weeks later. But it's becoming a little more balanced now. The saltiness, that brine, is definitely still in here. That was in there from the very beginning. It's not super briny. It's not like some of the older Lagavulins or Taliskers. It's not that much brine, but there's a little bit in here for sure. Even Lefroy can be huge brine. This one, it's in there, but it's balanced. Definitely sweet. Golly, the more I nose it, it's just like, wow, it's really sweet. Okay, let's go ahead and taste it. Medium viscosity, not over, not under, solid medium. Feels creamy, 52%. Feels about like that. There's nothing wrong with it. Wow, okay. standard Ardbeg 10 characteristics, and we're talking newer Ardbeg 10, like 20, I'd say 2012 and over. When you start talking about old Ardbeg 10s, like from 2007s and earlier, those were much softer Ardbeg. But this one right here, when most people are used to Ardbeg 10, this is what it's going to have, is a really strong base. The only difference is, as it enters, caramel sweetness, lemon frosting, underripe pineapple sprinkled on top of that, because underripe pineapple and lemon oils kind of have a very similar characteristic. So those two just kind of flowed together. Sweet caramel, that peat that's burning up front feels very clean up front, but as it transitions, because there's a swell of cinnamon on the mid palate and almost white pepper as well, and as that rolls over onto the finish, that's when you start noticing the peat transitions and it starts getting very ashy on the back end. Now when I chew on it, you can kind of pick up a little bit of rumminess to it. It's not a lot yet. I'm hoping that increases, but I can pick up a little bit of that. But I would wish that this had a little more of that rum influence, just to help give it more complexity, and hopefully it would give it a little more richness. But it definitely has the sweetness covered, like the rum sweetness, it's definitely covered already in this. I wouldn't want that to increase anymore. But if they had used like maybe a Jamaican rum cask to add really almost some funky notes in here, would have been great. But you know, I know that can be very polarizing too, so they probably took the safe route. But overall, really enjoyable. It's a step above Ardbeg 10, but just one little step. It's not like leaps and bounds above Ardbeg 10. So to consider that this is 150 and Ardbeg 10 is 40, 45, you know, that's a big step in price for not a big step in quality. That's the only issue I have right now with Drum. I'm hoping again that the rum will come out even more. Banana may recede a little more. That'd be fantastic. But overall, it's a unique experience for Ardbeg. The last time I saw anything very similar to this, again, was going back to Perpetuum. So that's a pretty good thing. Now, if I had $150 to spend on this, I'll be honest, I wouldn't spend it on this, because I would rather spend it on maybe picking up even Kelpie. Kelpie or Dark Cove. Those two, Dark Cove in particular, was a fantastic release from Ardbeg, and you can still pick that up through secondary channels, auctions, and stuff like that. So that's where I would focus my attention. But if you can't and don't feel like messing with secondary, and you think, I love standard Ardbeg 10, but I just want something a little sweeter, a little more, then this may be the go-to. Of course, don't forget, Corvrek and Ugadal are fantastic as well, so that's where it gets really the water gets very muddied with, where do you spend your money? Me personally, I would spend it in the other areas, not necessarily this one, but that's just my opinion. But thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like more honest and straightforward reviews like this, feel free to join me over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Liquorhound, and over there I'm doing reviews like this once a week at least, and you'll get insider tips and stuff like that. So hopefully you can join me over there, become a supporter of mine. Thank y'all for watching. Keep leaving all those great comments. I answer comments on both channels regardless. So thank y'all. Have a great day, and cheers.